Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to be going over why busy HVAC companies still don't make the money that they should despite all the opportunity, all the effort the team's putting in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to my screen here and I'm going to show you guys an audit that I did for a company that did about $89,000 in revenue with about 62 leads and an average ticket about 3.9K. So I'm going to show you guys roughly how it works when I'm working with an HVAC client, and I'm going to show you the step-by-step process that I use when I'm identifying how I can actually help these companies make more money with the amount of work that they're putting in. So this right here is the audit that I performed. Basically, what the audit goes over is it's about their sales process. It's about identifying where they're losing install opportunities in the sales process. This is not about generating more leads. This is not about new marketing. This is not about SEO, none of that stuff. This is about how can we make more money with what we have going on right now. So it goes through their entire sales operation. So you can see the first thing that I outlined up here is going to be their lead sources. So we have Google, Facebook, and referrals. And I put these three. Obviously, there are a lot more lead sources, but these are going to be the most general lead sources that we have, especially in the HVAC industry. So for your typical sales process, especially for this company, we see that the first thing that happens is we have all these leads. They go to a CSR admin that's answering the phone, responding to form submissions, and all this sort of stuff. So the CSR is the first point of contact. And the main point for this CSR here is going to be to identify this opportunity. Is it service? Is it sales? Is it repeat work? Is it coming back to a job that wasn't completed? All this sort of stuff. Now, the big thing that I want to outline here is the first issue is they weren't identifying or they weren't properly classifying these opportunities as service, as sales, as repeat work, as any of this sort of stuff. And what this is doing is, as we can see here, it inflated their booking rate to 71%. This is not the true booking rate because they weren't properly, everything was being classified as one booking rate when, as everyone knows, repeat work, customers that are coming back to you, you're going to book those customers at a much higher rate compared to new leads that are coming straight from Google. They need a new system. Their stuff's not working. They never worked with you before. You're going to book those people at a much lower percentage. The reason why we want to separate these booking percentages is because if this number is too high, we're not going to think that booking rate is a problem. But if we're actually booking 1 out of 5 fresh leads that aren't coming from repeat work, that's a huge problem, and we're losing a lot of money because we're not taking advantage of those leads. So the first thing that I identified here in this audit is that we need to properly classify and identify these opportunities so we can get good data to understand if the booking rate is the actual bottleneck in this sales process. Now, after we identify this, it's either going to go into service or sales. And of course, there are a bunch of other things, but for sake of simplicity, I just put it in these two branches. I'm going to focus more on the sales side because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to maximize the amount of installs and the amount of sales opportunities that we're getting. So one big thing that this company was lacking was they were not building value before the appointment. And what I mean by this is what they were basically doing, and which is what I'm sure a lot of you guys are doing as well, is you're basically just sending out a comfort advisor to the home and letting him do his thing or letting her do her thing and just basically try to sell them on the first call right when they get to the door or right when they get to the house. Now, the reason why you want to build value before the appointment is because you want to increase the amount of trust that you build with the homeowner, and you want to position yourself as the premium company, and you're going to position yourself above all of your competitors simply by doing this thing. And you're probably wondering, how can I build value before the appointment? What we do with our HVAC clients is we build them a pre-sales asset, and this is like a package or like a little landing page that goes to every single homeowner right before a sales appointment. And this pre-sales asset, I can show you in another video, goes over exactly what happens in this appointment, why we do this, the things we check, everything that is going to make your company appear as the premium option compared to your competitors. And what this is going to do, when you show them all this sort of value, you're going to seem like the number one option. Like you're going to walk into that home and they're already pre-sold on working with you. That is the entire point of building value before the appointment. Now, another big issue that we found here with this company is that after their appointments, there are two options that happen. They either close the appointment or they don't close the appointment. The big issue with them, and also with a bunch of other companies, is that all the estimates that they did not close, they just simply toss them. They don't care about these open estimates because we have so many new people coming in. We just need to keep going to new free estimates, new service calls, all sort of stuff that we just simply forget about these open estimates. And this is a massive, massive, massive opportunity, because these people, they have to think about it, or maybe they're comparing quotes and all this sort of stuff. What we want to do here is follow up and give them actual educational follow-up that's going to give them real value. And this is going to do one of two things. First, it's going to position you as the authority, and it's going to position you as a premium company that cares about actually educating their customers. Can you think about it like this? You have two companies, you want to get your AC replaced. You have two companies coming to you. One of them is following up with you and telling you, educating you exactly on everything that they found in the home, everything in the quote. They're consistently giving you value, and they make you feel like they want you to understand exactly what's going on, versus the company that just never reaches back out to them again. Who would you go with? Me personally, I would go with the company that's consistently providing me value. So this right here is obviously a massive, massive opportunity that majority of HVAC companies just simply don't even bother looking at. And then here at the bottom, we have after a completed repair and the job being complete. So sometimes they were asking for reviews, but not often. And maybe sometimes they were asking for maintenance plans. They're trying to get them on a maintenance plan. All this was based off of memory, and they weren't actually seeing any results, and they weren't measuring any results based on how many reviews they were getting, how many maintenance plans they were actually converting. Now, the reason why I'm tying all of this together is because at the top here, we can see that this company, they had 62 leads come in at an average ticket, an average blended ticket of, let's say, around $3,900 for each. Now, I do this to demonstrate the value of why all of this stuff is super important. We can see at the bottom, they closed around $89,000 in revenue, only 23 jobs out of the 62 calls that came in. If they closed all 62 leads, they would have made, based on the average ticket, 62 times 3867.40, they would have actually made 240 grand for that month. Obviously, 100% close rate is ridiculous and not realistic. So right now, they're closing 23 divided by 62, which is about 37%. 62 closes minus 23 closes, in terms of revenue, they're losing $150,000 in this month because they don't have stuff like this in place. Now, what I have at the bottom here just simply shows if you recovered 15% of that 150 grand, they would make an extra 22 grand for this month. Now, imagine if you had something like this going on every single month, recovering all that lost revenue. A lot of the time, you would not be struggling to make more money. All that effort you guys are putting in, all the opportunities that you guys are getting, it's all going to start paying off, because all these opportunities are going to actually start turning into paid jobs, and you won't have to be replacing these leads and finding new homeowners to sell every single day. If this is something that you want me to do for your HVAC company, you can simply comment down below, or you can just find me on Facebook. I have my links all in the description. Either just shoot me a DM, or you can book a call with me. There'll be a link for that down there as well.